So Fox capturing this video just moments ago of members of Congress visiting the scene of the assassination attempt on the life of former President Trump as the search for answers continues. We also have new body cam video showing officers responding to the gunfire. Senator Chuck Grassley getting this footage from the Beaver County Emergency Services Unit in compliance with congressional requests. Watch.
Trying to figure out how this guy got here.
Go.
Operators are. I think they're on the roof.
Is that where the dude is too?
Yeah, he's up there too. He was on a roof outside of the fence line.
Wow. Let's bring in former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker, a Fox News contributor. Nicole, great to have you with us today. This is just the latest new piece of video. You know, I can't help but think if we had video like this of the JFK assassination with people talking and moving, it fills in the holes a lot quicker. What's your reaction to what you hear and see in that video, Nicole?
You know, Martha, I think that a picture is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000 words, and to get that insight firsthand, the he said, she said stuff is very difficult to digest at times, but when you hear it and see it with your own two eyes, that is going to help investigators and help these congressional hearings and piecing everything together. I think what was very alarming to me is how Senator Hawley had a whistleblower come forward and stated that there was someone assigned to that roof, and they neglected their duty because the individual was apparently hot. It was too hot outside. So you're not going to do your job because it's hot. I can tell you that in an operations plan at the FBI, it will have your name, your title, the agency that you're with, your phone number, your call sign. Everything is listed in the operations plan in advance, and you know exactly where you are to be stationed during the operation that you will be performing. Yeah. And I assume that there was a very solid operations plan. I would like to see that. I think Americans would like to understand who was assigned to that roof, if there was someone, and why did they think that it was appropriate to neglect their duty out of just discomfort. I was an agent in Miami. It's hot. It's very hot here. And wearing your tactical vest, the armored plates, your gear, it's not glamorous, but that's not why you sign up to be an agent. You sign up because you're there to protect people.
Well, that person's going to have to live with what almost happened for the rest of their life. And we certainly hope there's further accountability than just the resignation of Kimberly Cheadle. Here's Christopher Wray, the FBI director, when he was questioned about what happened exactly in this assassination attempt. Watch.
With respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that that hit his ear. So it's conceivable. Although, as I sit here right now, I don't know whether that bullet, in addition to causing the grazing, could have also landed somewhere else.
What are your thoughts on that, Nicole?
Until he knows, it is an ongoing investigation. But what I can tell you is that Donald Trump was hit in the ear, and we are very lucky that he is still alive and he is still with us. And, this is an ongoing investigation. The FBI has a lot of work to do. Unfortunately, Martha, I think a lot of individuals do not trust the FBI anymore because of this, constant pattern of politicization, lack of stepping up to the plate. I sure hope that this investigation is thorough and transparent, but there's a lot of work to do. And I think a lot of Americans are wondering, what was the motive? What was Crook's motive? And I think that does take time. It takes an extensive amount of time. I've worked with our behavioral analysis unit in determining that. And I hope that comes out soon. But a lot of answers came about in that hearing, but there are a lot of unanswered questions as well.
Indeed, there are. Thank you very much. Nicole Parker, we'll stay on top of it with all these developments in this. It's really important to know what happened there so it doesn't happen again.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.